All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday, guys. We made it through another week. Let me just make sure you guys can hear me all loud and clear. So, guys, what's going on? YouTube, guys, welcome back, everyone. Good morning. Let me just fix this echo. Make sure you guys can hear me all good. Audio and video good. Awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's had a good week in the markets. Loud and clear. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, big moves in the markets overnight, guys. For me here in Australia, we woke up to some huge news, which I'm sure you guys have all seen, with Trump and Elon going absolutely at it on Twitter. It's been a crazy day to wake up to. So we got lots to cover today, guys. We also have it is NFP day today as well. It is the big non-farm payroll day. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Yeah, we're joining you guys for a new destination here today. Tuning in from Melbourne, Australia. I was unprepared for how cold it would be here. But yeah, it's very cold here. So I know I'm just wearing a small jumper, but it's very cold. I know it does look nice, and it is nice. It's beautiful weather, but it's just it's very cold. I was surprised to go from wearing shorts and t-shirts to long trousers, and even this jumper was nowhere near enough. But yeah, welcome back, everyone. We do have the big NFP today, non-farm payroll day today. I haven't traded at all today, guys. So it's my first time jumping on with you guys. Cold in Australia, surely not. Yeah, believe it or not, Melbourne does get very cold. Actually, Angel was telling me you can actually go skiing here, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, cold in Australia. Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah, I think so, Sean. I think so. So yeah, lots to cover today, guys. For you guys who were on the live stream yesterday, you guys remember the liquidity levels that we spoke about. You know, these highs here. These are the highs we spoke about yesterday, guys. We took this initial break even here on the day, and then on the next 15-minute breakout, I got right back in. So a lovely push yesterday. It was unfortunate they couldn't push, when we were in on the trade. So I believe we got long. You guys remember yesterday, we got long somewhere around here. We decided to cut our trade at break even. However, once the market re-broke back out, I got right back in. So again, this is why I say to you guys, it's very key to keep these levels on your charts. So I got in at 95, but I got out at 3406, and that was my exit right there. Before then, you had this absolutely phenomenal push. These were the levels that we spoke about yesterday, guys. So hopefully you guys did take advantage of this push. We spoke about 3400. We spoke about these liquidity levels, and then we ended up coming up for all of the highs as well. So it was a very big day yesterday. Just one contract was able to take in $1,000 here, which was very nice. And these were the levels that we spoke about yesterday. So it was a very good day yesterday. Now it is pre-NFP today, guys. So we'll take the markets as they are, but I want to be able to jump on and give you guys some analysis for the day anyway. You kind of see here on gold, we'll do some top down here on gold, but look how lovely these levels get hit, guys. This is what gold absolutely loves to do. Loves to come down, grab the lows, then push. What do? We pull back, and then where do we come to? Right for the highs. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Came down, grabbed the lows yesterday, and just a phenomenal trade. So hopefully you guys did manage to take advantage of some of that yesterday. We spoke a lot about how I wasn't really interested in any downside. Hey Nathan, what's going on, man? And yeah, it ended up having a very nice push. So although it was unfortunate that it came on, and we were very patient for that as well, guys. I waited almost like 2 hours for that position, and that is a prime example of why patience pays. So it was a very nice push. Let me just get the Discord up here. So let's we'll delete all this analysis, guys. We'll do some fresh charts here. Yeah, gold gold react the same as NQ during NFP. Yeah, gold will have some very, very, very big moves. Yeah, gold loves to have huge NFP moves. So these are our liquidity levels from yesterday, guys. These got hit very, very well. Now let's draw on some new levels here for the day, especially pre-NFP. You know, the daily tried to break out yesterday. We came up into that double top region, and then we ended up having a pretty steep pullback. Let me just let's have a look here. Where's my screen gone? Here. Awesome. So, we came up, we tagged 3,400 again. We also tapped into these highs here, failed to close above, and then we had an aggressive push back down. So, same levels stand as yesterday, guys. We mentioned yesterday, big resistance, 3,400. Next support, 3,350. That's our daily support. Here's our massive weekly resistance, which if you guys look, same levels as yesterday. We still haven't quite closed back above this 3,400 level. Coach Hoop, good morning, welcome back. After you look at GC, take a look at cattle. Oh, okay. For tomorrow, yeah, huge move. High yesterday, gold, like moving cattle. Oh, really? Okay. I've never traded cattle. I have seen a few people mentioning it recently, though. It kind of makes me interested to see how it moves. Yeah, we'll absolutely take a look at cattle as well. So here's our weekly resistance on gold, guys. 3,400 daily level. We wicked out the highs yesterday, held the resistance. But then where did we also tap into? We did also come down and tap into previous daily lows as well. I personally still like these lows down here. If you can come down and liquidate some of these lows here, this is a very, very, very interesting level. I wouldn't be too surprised to see this daily flip bearish and come down and liquidate some lows and tap deeper into that 3,350 level. So, we can kind of see this daily is in a bit of a range, guys. But if you guys remember on Wednesday's live stream, was it Wednesday we spoke about the importance of top wicks? I believe it was Wednesday. Well, what have we done here today, guys? Yesterday you grabbed highs and closed bearish. Today's opened and instantly pushed up. So what does that mean? To me, this looks like this is the potential for this to be a top wick on the daily. And if this daily can start re-breaking daily lows, you could be looking for this to have a little bit of a correction back down to the lows. So I like the way that Asia has opened and instantly pushed up. It makes me think, this is the top wick on the daily. By the time this daily candle closes, we could be right back down here at the lows at 33.57. So let's drop down to the 4-hour time frame here, guys. Yeah, we'll have a look at NQ as well. I know there was the big Twitter/X beef going on yesterday during whilst I was asleep. I woke up at like 5 a.m. this morning to fly here to Melbourne, and just saw Tesla down like 14% or something, and then jumped on Twitter and seen all of the back and forth going on there. It was absolutely crazy. I don't really know what happened there, to be honest, because as far as I was aware, Elon and Trump were best friends. I thought they were, I thought they were best friends, taking over the world. Before you know it, they're absolutely crashing the markets. So this is the range we're currently working with on gold, guys. Back up 6% pre-market, really nice. Yeah, I was tempted to look at some. buys again on Tesla. I'll have a look at what lows we came down to in a second. I haven't bought any just yet. But yeah, this is what gold loves to do in these range, guys. Remember if we spoke about this earlier on in the week? If we're in a big range like this, what does price love to do? If we're in a big range like this, what do we like to do before the real move? We like to come up, tag the highs or lows, and then that's when you look for that real move down lower. So that's pretty much what we've done here on gold. We've came up, we've tagged the highs, you've had a nice break to the downside. So for me, this 4-hour is printing a very nice evening star to come down and tap into these lows here. Because what did we not do before this push up, guys? We never re-grabbed the lows. That's what gold loves to do. Find support, grabs the lows, and then has the push. Well, you found support, you couldn't quite come back to the lows, and then you've pushed up. So to me, two very nice liquidity levels for the day. Remember, guys, keep these on your charts as well, because they get hit after we jump off very, very well. Now, not only is this a nice liquidity level down here, it's also a very nice trend line coming up. Look at this really nice trend line. You guys know the way we love to trade trend lines. It's kind of already happening already, so I need to get a move on. But this is what most people are looking to do. They try buy this trend line, sit some stops down just below, and that's where gold loves to come down and manipulate a lot of these areas. You know, trap in any early sellers. So we are looking for some downside here today in London, guys. It is kind of already happening. So how's this? Let me have a quick look at the hourly. Hourly grabbed highs, closed bearish at 6 a.m. and you're following through here at 7 a.m. So for the London Open, guys, we could be looking for gold to continue pushing down. Now, we're kind of already getting some good volume here. Let's just, I'll go back to the overall analysis in a second, but this is already having some pretty decent volume. Yeah, I probably will. It will be at reduced risk. You know, I don't always recommend you guys to trade before you know, major news such as NFP, but you know, if you want to accept the risk and give it a shot, why not? As long as you accept the risk. And you know, I just said this on, someone asked me, you know, why do I recommend to not trade pre-NFP? Because for some people that can be a tilt trigger. You know, if you trade before NFP and you take a loss, that could be something that sends you on tilt. So that's why I kind of say to guys, you know, it's not necessary that sometimes the technicals might not be there. It's more so that could be a trigger to send you on tilt. If you trade before high impact news and you take a loss, you know, are you very likely going to kick yourself and be like, damn, you know, I knew I shouldn't have traded before news, blah, blah, blah. So that's the only reason I kind of say to be a little bit cautious before NFP. We just opened and tapped right into the lows here, having a very nice squeeze. Yeah, that's why the lockout feature is good, absolutely. So yeah, you know, I may not take it on the 150. I might take it on my Asia. I have a pretty good buffer here on the Asia. I think I've got, what have I got here in the Asia? I've got like a $5,000 buffer here in the Asia. So, you know, if I'm going to trade on any account, maybe we'll trade it on the Asia account. I call this the Asia account, but to me, it's not really just an Asia account. I'm kind of prioritizing the 150k here at the minute. But yeah, maybe we'll see if we get some trades in the Asia account. We'll see. But yeah, obviously, you know, it can be risky trading before you know, major news events. But you know, we're already getting some pretty decent volume. You know, this already pre-London, and I haven't jumped on the charts yet today. This is already a 165 tick push. That's a very, very big push. Pre-NFP, pre-London, you know, that's some pretty good volume. So as long as we're getting the volume there. Yeah, trade the locks already, yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. It's just insane. But yeah, ideally, you know, you're trying to spot this trend line from when you're all the way back up here. And you're trying to short from around here into the trend line. So now that we're kind of liquidating the trend line, you know, we're already tapping into some major levels. So ideally, if we bounce from here, you know, that could bring in some early buyers, give us a little bit of a pullback, and then we can short into the support. I don't want to be selling it from down here. You know, I should have been shorting from up here, but I just jumped on the charts with you guys. But yeah, to come down and tap into these lows here would make a lot of sense. So ideally, if we can find some support on this, some support here, and have a little bit of a pullback, I'd like to short into this potential breakout here on gold. Like I say, this is some very nice volume here, pre-London. We got London Open in about 13 minutes as well, guys. We'll have a look at NQ. We'll have a look at some. Oh, currency has currency just grabbed them lows? Yes, it has. Yeah, cool. Currency just grabbed lows. Something to be aware of. Let me have a really quick look at Tesla here on this chart. Yeah, what a push yesterday. Absolutely insane push. It's crazy because, you know, the technicals were lining up for some massive resistance on Tesla. You know, we were finding some weekly resistance for like 3 weeks in a row, failing to close back above 350, and then ended up, you know, the news came out and we had a massive pullback, which is always pretty interesting. Let me just skip this in here. So yeah, nice initial bounce here on gold, guys. You know, if I was selling here, this would be a pretty decent management area. You had a nice correction. Did anyone trade Asia today? I haven't been on the charts at all today. So did anyone get any Asia plays today? Anyone take any Asia trades? Buys after the fake out. Nice. I mean, the shorts, nice. Yeah, did you get the fake outs from what, down here or here? Nice, no, it was a nice fake out there actually. Grab bullish here, close bullish at 2 a.m. London time. That was a really nice fake out. Lovely pullback. Almost came right back into that 3,400 level. You're short from 65.3. Oh, is that on the currency? 65.3. Yeah, nice. Previous 30. Nice. I like that, man. I like that. Yeah, whilst gold finds some support here, guys, which is what we want to see. Let's have a look at some other markets here. See what we got. NQ for the day. Yeah, what a phenomenal push yesterday, guys. That's you know, that's the power of these liquidity levels. Look at that. Anyone who was this is what we were saying yesterday, guys. Anyone who was shorting here, stop sitting just above that high, and that's exactly where we were buying into. Very nice trade yesterday. It's been a very good week in the markets again. A very good week. June is off to a very good start. 53 ticks on the fake out into the bullish flip in the hourly. Oh, nice. 53 ticks pre-NFP is great. That's what we like to see, man. That's what we like to see. Yeah, nice. Had some pretty decent fake outs here. Nice squeezes here. Grab belows. Lovely squeeze up here. So let's have a look at NQ. You guys are asking about NQ. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, we'll have a look at. Actually, let's have a look at cattle first. Coach Hoop said cattle. Let's have a look. Now, I've never ever looked at this. Yeah, absolutely, Brad. Wow. Coach Hoop might be onto something here. Wow. Oh my. That is phenomenal. Wow, look at that. Are we missing out trading gold? What's going on here? Wow, look at this. Is this all-time highs for cattle? Wow, look at that. Yeah, we missed out big time here. That's incredible. When did that kind of start? It kind of started since what? It's kind of the same time that Nasdaq found major support, right? Around that weekly. Yeah, around the 7th of April. Same as cattle, 7th of April. Nice morning star play here. Yeah, that's insane. Wow. Like I say, I've never traded cattle, or even really looked at cattle. But that is phenomenal. That's crazy. Maybe we should start watching this. How much does it move per tick? How much is it per tick? Was it like 10 or something? 5. $4.400 every. Okay, cool. Wow, that's huge. Wow, what a push! Even today, gapped up here, opened and just absolutely push. Yeah, it doesn't miss on any market. Wow. That's kind of like, you know, there's not a lot to really do with that now, is there? That's a phenomenal push. You just, as soon as you broke these highs here, what, 215, 200, 213, 212? Just new price discovery. That is incredible. I've absolutely missed out on that one. I've never... Was that into yesterday? Yeah, well. That is absolutely huge. Yeah, let's have a look at... We'll have a look at NQ. Before I get too much FOMO looking at cattle. Let's have a look at Nasdaq. See what... obviously, we had the big sell-off yesterday. Let's have a look. So let's do some fresh analysis here on NQ. See what you guys got for NFP today on NQ. Daily ended up closing very bearish yesterday. What did we do? Remember, guys, what did we say yesterday? This was our liquidity level from yesterday. Why? Because it was a previous weekly high. If you guys remember, yesterday we spoke about price needing to come up and grab previous weekly highs. It came up, you tapped that weekly high, and then that's when you start to have that pretty aggressive pullback. Now today, instantly finding support and getting bought right back up. I know it's they have been very rangy, very rangy. It looks like it's been a pretty tough week. I guess you could say you've got some trend line coming up here as well, which I wouldn't be too surprised to see, you know, potentially have some pullback, squeeze this a little bit more. I've been watching for maybe price to pull back into what, 21.4. But again, you know, we are still overall very bullish. You have had this nice resistance level. You broke out of it, broke back below, above, holding it as nicely as support. I wouldn't be too surprised to see NQ have a little bit of a squeeze lower here. That's on the 4-hour time frame. Let's have a look at the hourly. What time is it? We've got 6 minutes till London Open here, guys. A nice bounce in Asia, though. Look at that. Very, very nice bounce in Asia. Let me just get rid of this trend line. We just have a quick look to make sure ES hasn't grabbed these lows before we mark on these lows. Did ES grab the lows? Let's have a look. Apologies, guys. Is my Wi-Fi, is the stream all good? I'm in a new Airbnb, so I don't know if the Wi-Fi is amazing, but it seems to be all right. No, you're cool. You haven't grabbed these lows, so do some. We'll get rid of these levels on ES. So yeah, I like these lows down here in NQ. You know, such a big move like that could very well likely take until NFP. But you're currently coming back into a pretty strong breakout level, a very, very strong breakout level. We'll see the London Open here. You're kind of grabbing the lows, starting to re-break back higher. So it's going to be interesting to see if this pre-London candle can actually close above, or if you're going to hold this resistance and start to have a little bit of a pullback. If I was a buyer here on NQ from these lows, you know, I'd probably be looking to take profit around here. All good here? Yeah, cool, all good. Good, nice, cool. Thank you, guys. Yeah, all good, awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you. So yeah, there's a pretty strong breakout level from yesterday. Come back up and hold this. Is this gonna, you know, we're gonna break back above and see some new highs, or are we gonna hold this and come down and create some lows? I think an easy option here is if we do want to look for a potential pullback, you know, maybe we can look for a closure back below this support. You know, you've closed above, you've just held it, so you could either create a pretty aggressive range in London or close back below, and you could look for a bit of a pullback. So I would say, you know, if I did want to short NQ here, I'd probably look for a potential 30-minute fake out play, because you came down, you squeezed the lows with a massive liquidity grab, and you've just continued pushing higher. You know, buying this current 30-minute candle actually would have been a nice play, because this 30 came down, liquidated the lows, held the support, and then continued to break higher. So London Open on NQ is going to be interesting as well, guys. We'll have a look at copper as well. Gold trying to find some support here, guys. Trying to find some support, trying to find some resistance. So this hourly is going to be interesting here on gold as well. We'll see what the London Open brings today, guys. Remember, it is like I say, it is big NFP day. So if you've had a great week, you know, don't feel like you need to force it by trading before major news such as NFP. Or if you do decide to take a trade before NFP, you know, just accept the risk. You know, if you take a trade pre-NFP and it doesn't work out, well, just accept that you were the one to take that trade. You know, if I take a trade here before NFP and it doesn't work out, well, that's fine. I accepted that risk. I decided to take that trade, and, you know, you just got to live with it. If you feel like, you know, trading pre-NFP is going to be something that sends you on tilt, well, you know, just sit on your hands. Do we have any other news this week? Last day today. No, Canadian dollar unemployment changes. But no, that's it. But it's been a good start to the month. A very, very good start to the month. We've had some great moves on gold. Some great moves on gold. I was pretty happy with my hold day yesterday. I had the discipline to hold that. You know, usually I kind of take my 20-30 ticks and walk away, but I was like, no, these liquidity levels are so strong that I would kick myself if I didn't hold it into at least, you know, these first highs. You came up and grabbed, yeah, came up and grabbed all of the highs. 4 hour here on gold. How have we got to the 4 hour close? Still got about 3 hours, tapping into the previous 4 hour lows, which is interesting. We'll get rid of the trend line, guys. You know where the trend line is. Plan to short at 33.87. Do you think it's overextended? Let's have a look. We got London Open in about 2 minutes, so let's have a look. 33.87. Let me see. 33.87. Let's just see. 33.87. So around here. I mean, let's see. The only thing to be aware of, it depends on where you're, like where's your risk. You're looking for something like this. If you're looking for something like that, 2 to 1, yeah, kind of makes sense to me. The only thing I would be aware of is this is a pretty strong bounce off this support here. We can't ignore, we do have some nice resistance here, but we can't ignore that we do also have some support. We kind of got to see the markets from both sides. So I'm not saying, don't necessarily take a short, but be aware that this is the little bit of a range that we're working with. And this is a pretty steep rejection here. Let's see how this is going to close. This is a pretty strong rejection. If we reject this much, I wouldn't want to be a seller here just yet. I love gold sells today back down into these levels, 33.57. But does that have to happen before NFP? It's unlikely. You're more so probably looking for a bit of a range play today here in London. So if we're going to play a range play, we want to do it at good areas. Yeah, it's a very nice bounce of this support. A nice quick 35 tick bounce here. London open in 20 seconds here, guys. Been your resistance? Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Yep. Nice breakout, pull back, see if we can hold it. Let me just get some water here, guys, before London open. 2 seconds. All right, so we've got London open here, guys. Let's have a look, see how that hourly actually ended up closing. So you still closed bearish below here on gold. You still closed below this support. So let's keep this clean here for a second. This is the range we're currently working with. Which if we look to the left, these wicks, nice support, big resistance, resistance. So this is the range that we are working with. Now I do like the look of downside here on gold. You grab the highs, you close bearish. You also close bearish for the past 2 hours. So I'd say if we can get a little bit of a pullback here, maybe come up and tap into some previous 15, previous 30-minute highs, we can see if we can potentially get some shorts here. Remember, we are looking for some overall downside here on gold. We are looking for some overall downside. It's more so, if it would have been great to have short from 6 a.m. But now I'm kind of thinking, well, you kind of, got something like this. If I'm going to get a short here, in terms of getting a good risk reward, I'd like to do it from here. This hourly is opening and instantly pushing down into previous hourly lows, which is interesting. So if you come down and grab the lows, that could be a liquidity grab to have a bit of a pullback. Let's see. 15-minute here. 15-minute grab lows, closed bullish. So this is the 15-minute range we're working with. How big is this range? I don't like to trade anything less than, like a 20, 30 tick range. How big is this range? 50 ticks. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, how's the hourly close on NQ as well? Not quite. So NQ, did you close above? Did you close below? NQ to me looks like you're having a bit of a pullback here, guys. You came down, grabbed the lows, grabbed the highs. You're opening and instantly pushing up. So if this is opening and instantly pushing up, could this be a top wick for this to end up flipping bearish and coming down for a little bit of a pullback? Kind of makes the most sense. Let's see here on gold. If we come down and instantly grab the lows, you could find some support for a little bit of a pullback. Let's see. Yeah, NFP is at 1:30 London time. If you pull 20 ticks to this 50 tick range, pre-NFP, you can call it and go for that. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, London time, the news is at 1:30 London time. 1:30 London time. So, me personally, I don't trade within like, a 2-hour window of that news. Sometimes trade after news, it depends, to be honest, depends on how volatile the news is. Depends on if I still have levels of interest. The sells overall do look really nice to me on gold. But that's overall. You know, I've seen pre-NFP a lot of times respect a lot of lows that you think are going to get grabbed, and then it takes all the way until NFP before you grab it. So if you have a massive trend line coming up here and you're looking for price to come down and grab the lows, typically before NFP, you know, you can create all that liquidity and then NFP comes out and then you have the push. So for here, London, before NFP, I kind of want to be reactive to just playing the ranges. I'm not looking for any huge moves here in London. What have we just done? Where's our key level here? 33.50. That's our overall downside level. NQ for buys. Let's have a look. Yeah, this to me looks like a pullback level. But again, you know, this is a pretty tough range. This is a really nice push up here in Asia. Really nice push. Not about a nice push, pretty corrective, but overall, nice to see NQ finding some support after yesterday. Let me just have a quick look at gold, see what we want to see before we have a look at copper. You may instantly come down and squeeze the lows here. Let's see. Let's have a look at copper as well. Copper, let's have a look. Daily time frame. Quick, wow, look at that, guys. Remember we spoke yesterday on copper for price to come up and liquidate these highs and tap into $5. Wow, what a call there on copper as well. You guys go back to yesterday's London live stream. These were our liquidity levels from yesterday for price to come up and tap into these highs and also tap into $5. We've been speaking about $5 on copper for quite a while. So it looks like you came up, hit them highs beautifully, and had a massive rejection. That was a lovely buy there yesterday. I don't trade copper very often anymore, but it's nice to see copper following the same plan as gold there. That's a crazy push yesterday. What was that? Wow, look at that. It's absolutely huge. Let's get rid of this analysis here. So what could you see now on copper now that daily's come up and liquidate these highs? To me, it wouldn't be too surprising to see a bit of a pullback. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. That was a huge push there yesterday, guys. Look at that. 4 hours tapping into previous 4 hour highs. If you start to re-break some lows, copper could actually be a little bit nicer than gold. You're coming up, you're tapping into hourly highs, holding the resistance. So copper could be coming down to play this range. Come down and grab some lows. Yeah, pulling 20 ticks in this range, yeah, would be nice. But the thing is, you know, if we want 20 ticks for the day, you know, you're gonna get 20 ticks in a much easier scenario than trying to, you know, if you just want 20 ticks, you'd be better off waiting till after news to get your 20 ticks. But yeah, I agree. It would be lovely to get it before the news and be done. But if not, you know, guys, it's been a fantastic. We've had some great calls on gold and NQ this week and copper as well. That's why I say to you guys, you know, leave these levels on your charts. It doesn't always have to hit when we're on here. You know, this push on gold yesterday took at 10 a.m. Took until 10 a.m. So we were more than off by then, but it ended up hitting very well. Same as the downside levels here on gold today. These lows here and these lows here, and also 33.50 look like some very interesting levels. Which, you know, if we do hit them levels, how would this weekly look? The weekly is probably going to be stuck in this range. You know, gold's been in this range since the 21st of April. Look at this. How often do we see something like this? Not very often. Not very often. This is a very give us 26. All right, I got you. Yeah, yesterday wasn't good enough. I got you, man. With how much risk are we ignoring risk? Just 20 ticks, no matter how big the risk is. Is that the deal? Yeah. So it's been a while since we've seen gold in such a huge range. This is massive. Although it doesn't matter, you know, we've still had some great intraday trades. It's pretty crazy to see gold still in this massive range. This is huge. So yeah, all I want to see is just a little bit of a pullback here on gold, so we can look to get some shorts. Look at this 30-minute fake out here, guys. Pre-London, look at this 30-minute fake out. Grab the highs, close back below. That would have been a great short in hindsight. Lovely short. Do you ever correlate gold with a dollar pair? Not really, to be honest, man. I mean, you could look at the euro. euro probably give you a better understanding of what the US dollar is doing. Risk is irrelevant. All right, I got your 20 ticks. Easy. But no, not really. You can, like I say, you could have a look at the euro to understand what the US dollar is going to do. But to be honest, no, I find just analyzing gold works the best. Sometimes sometimes gold might move in confluence with other instruments, but for intraday trading, I feel like gold's just different. It just sometimes people correlate it with Nasdaq, but it's not all the time. So I find it easier if you could just get good at reading just gold. It just makes your life a lot easier. But you can kind of see here, even on the euro, is the weekly probably creating a pretty similar range, kind of. Here, not as much actually. To me here, the euro looks strong. The euro looks like you come up and tap in some big highs over here. Let's have a look at gold here. We've got the first 15 minute of the London Open coming up here, guys. Hit 3,500, almost to the dot. Yeah. Them psychological levels are huge. The hundreds and the 50 levels. These are my favorite levels to watch on gold. The 3,400, the 50s, and the hundreds here as well. Yeah, gold on the higher time frame absolutely loves them psychological levels. That's one thing that I've used on gold for pretty much the whole entire time I've traded gold, especially when I used to swing trade. When I was swing trading gold, yeah, them round psychological levels is what it absolutely loved. And even here when it was all-time highs, what did we hit? I think we hit like 33.50 pretty much perfectly, and then had a huge sell-off. No, not was it 3,500? Yeah, 3,500. Sorry. Or maybe it's the currency chart. We hit it a bit better here. Now where's the downside level? 3,200. So yeah, gold does love them levels. Where's my? Let me put this back on. 3,400. Look at this daily, guys. To me, this daily looks like we're ready to break the daily lows and come low. I really want to get short here on gold. I just won't sell from here. It would have been great shorting from up here pre-London, but we've just jumped on. So if I'm going to get short here on gold, guys, I want to do it, at a very logical area where I can manage risk. If I can't, the only place for me to manage risk here, if I'm wrong, is back above here. So in terms of my risk to reward, is too big. What's the usual smaller time frames you use? I use the 5 minute. A lot of my execution's done on the 5 minute, man. But I use the 5 minute, once I have that confirmation on the higher time frame. The 5 minute on gold is great, but if you use the 5 minute for directional bias, it can chop you up a lot. So the reason I'm not watching the 5 minute as much right now is because I'm kind of trying to wait for this higher time frame to confirm a sort of pullback or a sense of direction. And then once I get that candle closure on, the 15 or the 30 minute, then I'm like, great, now let me drop down to the 5 minute and see if I can get my entry. So analysis is done hourly, 30 minute at least, sometimes daily, it depends. And then 5 minutes purely for execution. Like I say, I absolutely love the 5 minute, but some of the guys hate the 5 minute. But the only way that I will use the 5 minute is to trade based off what my higher time frame is doing. Like I say, I come from a swing trading background, and I would always, when I kind of came into day trading, I would just open my charts and go straight to the 5 minute, whereas, that's the worst way to trade. Because if you just try and pick direction off the 5 minute, it can chop you up all day long. So I kind of found, I like the 5 minute, but I'll only use the 5 minute once the higher time frame confirms what I'm looking for. Yeah, Alan it likes the 3 minute. Yeah, I've never used the 3 minute, but yeah, he does like the 3 minute. Nice rejection here on gold, guys. 15 minute holding this support. Looking like you're gonna have a bit of a pullback here. Again, it's the reason I don't want to sell down here. It's major support. Although I do believe price is going to grab these lows, this isn't a short level. With gold squeezing up, is NQ coming for that pullback that we mentioned? Let's have a look. Yeah, nice. NQ come for that pullback, guys. Remember, hourly opened and instantly pushed up. So it's not a bad short on the break of the candle there. 650, nice. NQ finding some big resistance there, that's nice. NQ finding some resistance, gold finding some support. So I guess you can see you got that little correlation there. If I'm going to get short here on gold, guys, it's going to be back up here. Average trade duration? It depends, to be honest. You know, yesterday was a good hold for me. What was that? I got in at 17 minutes past 6. I got out an hour and 10 minutes later. But on average, I would say I'm looking for much more quicker scalps. Like I said, this is probably the longest hold I've had in a while. All in all, I would say 10 to 15 minutes for when we're trying to take these stream trades together. 10 to 15 minutes is good enough for me. Sometimes 5. Again, it depends on the volume. A lot of the trades we have taken here together, they've probably been within about 5 to 10 minutes. I don't really have any, to be honest. Anyone? None really. Just gold to potentially come down into these lows. Yeah, the thing is, you know, with NQ sells, if you did take the break of this hourly low, which we spoke about here, you know, say if you shorted, if you put a sell stop, let's say you're risking off these highs, you know, you're trying to play a bit of a pullback. The thing is, again, you know, pre-NFP, you want to be very aggressive with your management. So you do have to be open to the fact that this is a pretty aggressive range. So if I was short in this break of the lows, this support would be a strong management point for me. A very, very strong management point. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. How will you differentiate between a 30-minute morning star on the 30-minute versus a pullback to short from? I'm not too sure what you mean, man. Sorry. What do you mean? Differentiate from a morning star versus a pullback to short from? A morning star is at the lows. So you'd be buying a morning star if you have like upside liquidity to trade into. Yeah, it does. Yep, I agree. You couldn't quite grab the lows though. But if if I was looking for longs, then I would buy a 30-minute morning star. Hi Aaron, is the view behind you real or is it some background? It is real. I don't know how I can prove that it's real, but yeah, it is real. I'm in Melbourne for the weekend. I'll post the setup so you guys can see it on my Instagram. Or did I post it already? I'll show you. Yeah, I posted it on my Instagram already. If you guys go look at my latest story, yeah, I posted it. I'm trading from Melbourne from the weekend, so yeah, it is. It's not a green screen, believe it or not. It might be. I don't know. That could also be a lie. I don't think so. Knock the window. It's a very hard green screen. Yeah, gold having a nice support. The only reason I'm not really too interested in buying here on gold is because where's your targets? You know, you got resistance here, you got support here. You're just in a little bit of a range. I think your safest bet on gold is waiting for a break above or below. Yeah, you're also tapping into, that's the thing, you are also tapping into previous 4-hour lows, which is interesting. So the 4 hours tapping into previous 4-hour lows, which could be a nice support for a bit of a pullback. But then the daily time frame, to me, I look at this daily and I go, okay, cool. Yesterday you grabbed the highs and closed bearish. So to me, this daily looks like it wants to roll over. So all the time frames are kind of telling me something a bit different, which is more of a reason to let price come to us for a little bit. No, I never trail stops, Brad. No, I never trail stops. Managing aggressively means just playing the range. You know, if you're buying here and it comes up into here, you got to manage aggressively. But no, I personally never trail stops. It's a green screen. It's a green screen in his basement. His parents' basement. Oh my. Why do you have to expose me like that on a Friday? I'm trying to enjoy my Friday evening. And you're trying to expose me like that, Sean. We need to have words after this. Let's have a look here. NQ. NQ, like I say, guys, holding resistance, holding support, a little bit of a range. Is copper kind of shaping? Copper looks like it could. Nah, copper again. Look at that. Grabbing the highs, grabbing the lows. A little bit of a range to start the morning, guys. But like I say, we've got time. We've got plenty of time here, guys. There's no rush. There's no rush. Like I said, yesterday, you know, I waited 2 hours for my trade. Maybe, no, longer. I think we jumped on pre-London at 6. I didn't get my buys until 9:30. So I waited 2.5 hours. And guess what? It was absolutely worth it. How would you look at VWAP? I don't use it as a confluence. I just kind of maybe just have like an overall idea of where it's at. I honestly don't use it as a reason to take trades. It's just something that I'll look at just to keep an eye on like where it is to maybe find some, you know, support and resistance. But it's not something it's not something I base trades off or base direction off. You know, if you're selling gold here, maybe you've got some liquidity levels here, and it also maybe lines up with the VWAP, then you can be like, okay, cool, this is probably a pretty strong support level here. So I might be managing here, for example. Same as if I'm buying, you know, I might have some resistance here, but then I might also line it up with the VWAP, so it's probably a reason for me to, you know, maybe take some profit or manage my trade. But yeah, it's not something I'd say, you know, we're bouncing off VWAP, let me take a short, or we're breaking above it, let me go long. I just like to keep an idea of where it's at overall. Gold create a little bit of 5-minute range here. A little bit of a 5-minute range here on Goldie. Yeah, good trade exit. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. Yeah, maybe use it as an exit. You know, I'd say it's probably like the icing on the cake, I guess you could say. You know, if you have all of your other confluences, then, you know, the VWAP might be the last thing that you look at. I don't think it's something that I would, you know, necessarily take trades off, but it, you know, could be an added confluence. Let's see, question. So if you suppose you get a good or bad trade, even after that you stick to the chart for the next trade, or you just move on and you're done for the day? Not necessarily, man. I'll give you an example. Yesterday was a fantastic example. So yesterday, where are we? Here. So these were my liquidity levels from yesterday. So yesterday, you know, I was trying to buy up into these highs, and I had to give this trade 4 chances. 4 chances I had to give this trade. The first chance here, I got long, or somewhere around here on the break of the 30-minute high. I took this trade for about minus $300. Took the loss, fine. I got right back in here. Then I got trailed out for about $500 or something. Still hadn't quite grabbed my highs. And then I had to give it another chance when we were on our London stream around here. I believe we got in. Couldn't quite get it from there. And then I got it again from here. And then finally, then I ended up having to move. So how many trades I will take depends on if my liquidity levels have been hit. You know, so because my upper liquidity level hadn't been hit, and, you know, I was break even on the day from these 2 trades, another break even here, I was still mentally okay with the way that I was executing. I wasn't doing anything emotional. So therefore I was able to give myself a couple of chances. And as long as my targets haven't been met, and there's still room to squeeze these highs, and we're building up even more liquidity, which is what we did yesterday. Yeah, you know, I could sometimes give my trade 2-3 chances. You know, if I give my trade 3 chances or 3 losses, then I'm like, okay, cool, I'm probably just doing something wrong. But for example of yesterday, you know, an initial loss, then a nice win, then a break even. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You know, I'm still executing well. I'm not making any emotional decisions. I'm still in the zone, I guess you could say. Then yeah, you know, I'll give it one last chance, and finally had a great push. So yeah, I'm not really a type of person that, you know, if I take a loss, I'm done for the day. It depends on how do you feel mentally. You know, I could say to myself, oh, I can sometimes give my trades 2 to 3 chances. That for someone else might be too many, because it might be what sends them on tilt. So it depends on, you know, what sends you down that spiral of, you know, either going on tilt or getting frustrated and making silly mistakes. For me personally, it's not really. Yeah, nice one, Jordan. Have a good weekend, man. See you next week. Yeah, for me, it's not really necessarily a trade amount. It's more so just how do I feel mentally. If I still feel like I'm still in the zone, I still have clear targets on gold, I still, I'm making good emotional decisions, then great, I can keep trading. If I take one trade for the day, maybe I'm just not really feeling it that day, such as today before NFP. If I take a trade today, it doesn't work out. Pre-NFP, I might go, cool, that's me done for the day, move on to the next week. It depends on, yeah, it depends on how I feel mentally. Like I say, that's not, I don't really, a number of trades is like something that you can base off like a number amount. It's more so, how do you feel mentally? I've used Quant Tower. No, I haven't used Quant Tower. My preferred platform here is Topstep. Topstep X or TraderVate. I haven't used Quant Tower though. I would like to look into it more because I have seen people using it. It does look nice. But no, for all my Topstep accounts, they're all just done here on Topstep X. Everything's done here. My view app settings on view app source on settings. Here. I'm not too sure what that is. First deviation view app on gold. I'm not too sure what that is, man. It's not something I use. Not really too sure, to be honest. Let's have a look. NQ, what are we up to? We playing the range? Yeah, NQ stuck in the range, guys. Goldie stuck in the range. We're letting the markets come to us, guys. We've got 5 minutes until this first 30-minute close here of the London session. Patience will pay today, guys. Patience will pay. You can trade these ranges. You can get chopped up. You can get frustrated, and you can take those losses, or you can accept it and wait. Patience pays. Yeah, I'm surprised you can see it because the light inside's reflecting. Oh, I haven't seen the settings. Okay, cool. Anything else you guys are looking at? Let's have a quick look at crude. Let's have a quick look at crude. Goldie, we're going to see this first 30-minute close here, guys. You guys kind of see here on crude. Wow, look at this daily on crude. The nice thing about crude is you do have some very nice liquidity above. Although the daily is an absolute mess, these highs here look like a lovely, lovely buy target on NQ. Anyone who's shorting here, sorry, not NQ, on crude. Anyone shorting here on crude, I'd imagine seeing a lot of stops behind these highs. So this would be a very interesting liquidity level coming into NFP today, guys. Be watching these highs here. You also have 65 sitting just above as well. Exactly the same as what we spoke about on copper yesterday, guys. We spoke about these liquidity levels. We also spoke about $5. It's pretty much the same thing here on crude. You have a lot of upside liquidity that hasn't yet been grabbed. Crude loves to do the same thing as what gold loves to do. It loves to come up and liquidate the highs. So you could be looking for a potential buy on crude. Maybe below previous daily lows or something. Have you always been trading gold during London, or have you attempted to trade during New York? Yeah, both. Depends on, you can trade gold in Asia, London, or New York. That's the reason that I love gold so much, is because you can kind of suit it to your schedule. For instance, today I wasn't able to trade Asia today, so if I want to trade London, great. I'll still get some great moves in London. If I can't trade London, then I might trade a little bit in New York instead. That's the reason I love gold so much, is because it moves so well in every single session. Majority of my trades are in Asia and London. I had a great New York trade last Friday. I had the buys last Friday here. Was it here? Sorry, where was last Friday? Here. I had lovely buys in New York on Friday. But yeah, you do still get very nice, very, very nice trades on gold in New York. You probably get a lot of the movement in New York. For me, New York's at like 12 to like 1 a.m. So it's just not really, it just doesn't really suit me that well at the minute. But yeah, gold works very well in New York. I personally love to get my trades in Asia and London and be done for the day. But again, like I say, that's the, that's the good thing about trading gold. It's like it doesn't matter what session you decide to trade. Gold moves very well in every session. New liquidity bidding below. moving stops. So yeah, I agree, Nick. I agree. Creates even more liquidity before the news. Absolutely. You know, a lot of people, I would imagine a lot of people are probably trying to jump in these longs and looking for this big play up. And that's why we're overall looking for sell today. I'm just trying to understand, are the sells going to come in here in London, or is it maybe going to take closer to NFP? That's the only thing I'm kind of being a bit wary of. I always do get a little bit skeptical before NFP. It's not to say that we can't trade, you know, say that I'm just a little bit more patient. You did just come up and tag the highs here. Look at this. It came up and tagged the highs. Having a little bit of a pullback. Let's have a quick look at NQ. NQ, yeah. NQ stuck in a tough range as well, guys. We've got time here. We got time. We've got the first 30-minute close coming up in about 1 minute here. Yeah, nice, Jack. Lock it in, man. Lock it in. Pre-NFP. That's great. That's great. Like I say, guys, it's a big day today. Big day for the markets. How's this 30-minute looking? Let's see if this 30 minutes is going to close bearish. If this 30-minute closes bearish, then maybe the opportunity for a top wick and then short into the lows. Platinum caught an ice long early Asia. Wondering your thoughts. Surely it can't keep going. Yep, we can have a look. Let me just see this 30-minute close here on gold and we can absolutely have a look. Nice thing about gold here is we haven't grabbed the previous 30-minute lows, guys. That's what gold loves to do before a push up. You leave equal lows, you come down, you grab them, and then you have the push. So even if gold was going to have a massive push up here, you'd love to come down and grab these lows first. So that could be a potential short. Very, very doji candle there, guys. 30-minute closed with 5 ticks worth of bodies. That's very, very low volume. Yeah, you can just see me. You see my demo accounts reflecting in the background in a second. So you took, what do you say? You took, sorry, platinum longs? Did you say? You took platinum caught an ice long early Asia. Wondering your thoughts. Early Asia. Let me see. Here, I assume you got long from here. I mean, if you're long from down here, I would assume you've already taken profit by now. Having a quick look at the daily low, you're back at some huge resistance. But I mean, platinum has been on a phenomenal run since the 2nd of June. So since Monday, you grabbed the lows, closed bullish, great buys on Tuesday, and you've just kind of been non-stop since. What's interesting is this daily is opening and instantly pushing up. So that could find some resistance at any point. So if I was long here on platinum, yeah, personally I would be taking profit around here, because soon you could be coming for a big pullback. Look at this, came down, grabbed the lows, just insane. That was yesterday. Yesterday's run, absolutely huge run, huge run. So yeah, if I was long, yeah, I would. You'd probably already wanted to be looking to get out of platinum. But you never want to think like surely it can't keep going, because it definitely can, but it's more so like that's not really your trade. Let's have a look. Gold opening and instantly pushing down for a bottom wick. Let me see 30-minute. Let me just skip on this. This copyright free music's not the best. Let me skip this one. There we go. It's a bit better. So this opening instantly pushed down. There's no top wick here. Let's have a look at copper. I like copper sells. Yeah, wow, look at that. Yeah, copper did have the breakout there. Copper did come down and grab the lows here. Grab the highs, held the resistance. Nice squeeze here. Look at that daily as well, guys. You could be coming right down for yesterday's low. That would be a pretty decent downside target as well. For you guys who trade copper, that's a pretty nice target. Where's that? Where have we gone? Down here. So copper's having a nicer move than gold. Nicer move on copper than gold. NQ stuck in the range, guys. 30-minute close bearish. Stuck in a very tight range. Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah, can't keep going. Yeah, whenever you think that, I promise you, it absolutely can. Especially with gold. Gold is not. I'm not sure about platinum. I've never traded it. But gold is not one to ever say, like, surely it can't keep going, because it absolutely can. If ever you're thinking like that, it's probably a good reason to stay patient. Like, if gold's pushing down, I'm sure we've all done it in our earlier days, and you try and buy this and you go, right, surely it can't keep going down. Surely it's got to have a pullback. It will keep going down and down and down and down. And by the time you get to your breaking point, that'll be the time gold finds support and ends up having a pullback. And you can get out right at the lows. It's crazy, but that's what these markets love to do. These markets love to make you think, oh, surely we can't keep going. You know, you try and buy from here with no stops. You're like, okay, cool. Like, surely we can't keep going. And it closes bearish. Then you go, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna get out there, and then it ends up having the whole entire pullback. That's the fun of the business we're in. That's what the markets absolutely love to do. Can you look at silver? Silver's going crazy. Yep. Is it going move more than gold? Yeah, looks pretty nice. Massive run yesterday in London. Huge run yesterday. Pull back, continue pushing. Let's have a look at the daily. Let's have a look. Yeah, copper. Look at this. Copper, massive breakout here. Huge run. Again, massive. Where are we coming up into? Sorry, not copper, silver. Huge resistance as well. Kind of similar to platinum. Massive resistance. I remember doing stuff like that in my earlier days when I'd have no stop loss and it just kept going. Yeah, you'd be praying and offering sacrifices to the trading gods just to get it back to break even. Yeah, it's so easy to do. It's just, and with gold, it loves to give them false signs of, you know, finding support. You're like, okay, cool, it's finally finding support. We're gonna pull back. Nah, keeps going. Yeah, silver's on a crazy run. Silver is on a huge run. Massive breakout on Monday, pull back on Tuesday, and you just continued running. But again, would I be executing new positions up here on silver? Not really. I think you're going to get nice opportunities on NQ or gold. For me here, way too overextended to want to buy, and it's also way too bullish to want to sell. So here on silver, I wouldn't really be doing anything, to be honest. I'll size up on 150 for sure. I just traded one yesterday. I probably could have gone a little bit more, but yeah, I just traded one yesterday. On 150, yeah, I'm probably going to trade about 2 to 3. Not pre-NFP, but in normal markets, yeah, I will trade more on this 150. Why don't we sell gold? 5-minute evening star. Well, you don't just. There isn't really a 5-minute evening star here. No, you kind of had 2 equal highs here. You never grabbed the highs. This kind of, maybe you could say was one at like 7:30. But the reason I'm not really interested in shorting is because we're just in a range. You don't just want to take morning and evening stars just for the sake of taking a morning and evening star. You want to do it at good areas with good targets and good volume. So we don't really have that right now. So yeah, too little confirmation, but more so it's just in a bit of a range. Like I say, you know, if you're going to short an evening star, you know, you want to be doing it at a good level of resistance. But if you're going to be buying a morning star, you want to be doing it at a good level of support if you have clear targets. So a 5-minute, you know, shorting a 5-minute evening star when gold's already had this really big push down here pre-London is pretty risky, because at any point this can pull back. Now, if we measure this down, you know, pre-London, it's almost a 200 tick move. Pre-NFP, that's a very decent move. At any point, this could grab some lows and find some support. How do you time the entries in gold? Every time I take the trade on liquidity sweep, it hits my stop loss and pulls back. Well, I don't really trade out of liquidity grabs. I trade into them. For instance, yesterday, you know, I'm not waiting for these highs to get grabbed and then trying to go short. I'm trying to buy up into these levels, if that's what you mean. So for me yesterday, you know, I wasn't waiting, sitting on my hands doing nothing, waiting for price to get up into here, then trying to go short and getting scrambled up here. I'm trying to identify these levels that price needs to grab, and I'm trying to expose myself to longs. I'm trying to buy up into these levels. I'm personally not a huge fan of trading out of liquidity grabs anymore. I like to spot these areas that price needs to grab, and then I like to buy up into them. But yeah, I'll time my trades. A good example was a trade we took pre-London this week. When was that pre-London trade we took this week, guys? When was that? Was it Tuesday? Tuesday, I think we took a great pre-London trade. Where was it? Here. We took great pre-London trades here on Tuesday on my channel. You can go back and watch it on the live stream from the 3rd of June. Same thing again. I was buying up into the liquidity gaps. Where did I buy? Once price came down and grabbed some lows and broke out. So here, you grab lows, you closed with volume, and then I got my buy from here to here. And we had 0 drawdown on that trade. And we had like 60 ticks in like 10 minutes. So I have clear targets of where price needs to grab. I wait for price to confirm volume and a breakout, and then I get in. So I let the market show me their cards, and then I simply try and follow it. Yeah, gold in a very tough range here. Pre-NFP, it's not really too surprising, guys. That's why I'm staying patient here. You know, if we can get a trade, fantastic, but we don't need to force it. We've had some great trades this week. Very, very good trades. I'm waiting for 33.94 or 33.68. Is it legit levels? Let's have a look. $33.94. Yeah, I'll read that one out. 33.94. 33.94 for a short, I think you mean, or 33.68 for a long. 33.68 is pretty far away. I'd say if if you're waiting for, again, this is kind of what I'm saying about exposing yourself to the fact that anything can happen. If you're looking to short from up here, so I think if I read your question right, you're looking for shorts from 33.94. Again, this is one thing that held me back for a very long time in trading, guys. The amount of times that, I would wait for price to get into a level before then trying to do something else. The amount of time I wasted, the amount of trades I missed out on, the amount of losses I took was crazy. So if you're waiting for price to come up into here before going short, well, if you start breaking out of this, rather than just waiting for price to get in there and then going short, well, expose yourself to the fact that price needs to pull back into that level before doing something else. Because there's nothing to say when you get up here, you don't just keep pushing. And that's what I would do a lot. And that's what held me back for so long. I would just waste time. And I'll give you an example. Let's say if... How can I give you guys an example? Let's say if, I was waiting for... And let's say this is like... And I would waste hours to, if not days, waiting for something to happen. So let's say if, price is down here and... I'm waiting for price to get up into here before then trying to go short. The amount of times that price would get up into here and then just keep pushing up, and I would kick myself because not only have I taken a loss trying to go short, but I've also wasted so much time waiting for price to get in here before trying to do something else. So again, it comes back to trying to expose yourself to the fact that anything can happen. And if I can see that there's a high chance that price needs to come up into this area, well, rather than me sitting on my hands doing nothing, waiting for price to get there, if it's a higher time frame level, well, expose myself to the fact that we're breaking out and we're looking like we're going to come to this level and take longs up into it. Because what's to say when you don't get here, you don't keep breaking up. And then not only do you take a loss, but you've also missed out on a great buying opportunity. You've also just wasted a couple of days. And that's why, one thing I did in the beginning for a long time was I did a lot of forecasting. And forecasting, again, was something that held me back for so long. Because I'd be drawing all these fancy lines, waiting. I'm like, okay, cool. When price gets up into here, I'm going to look to go short. I'm going to risk off this high. And then, I'd be right. Price would get up into here. You'd pull back and then you just stop me out. And I go, okay, cool. I've just wasted a couple of days and I've also just lost money. And then I kind of got to a point where it's like, okay, cool. If I can see these levels and I can see we're breaking above here, well, let me expose myself to longs. And that can just be my trade as well. Exactly with the way that I trade liquidity now. If I believe price is going to come down and grab these lows, same as yesterday, if I believe price is going to grab these highs, well, rather than me waiting for price to get up into there and trying to go short, well, if I can measure that and I go, okay, cool, this breakout is a 200 plus tick trade, well, expose myself to that and take advantage of that, and that can just be my trade. So same as here, you know, if you want price to come up into here before potentially going short, if we break back above here, buy up into it. You know, there's nothing to say you can't just come up into here and then continue breaking higher. Gold is probably the most manipulated market there is. Why is that a bad thing? That sounds like a great opportunity to me if you can spot it. If you can spot the liquidity grabs that gold does, it's very, very simple to read. Gold loves to do these liquidity grabs, and if you can identify them, it's very simple. Very, very simple. You just need to wait for the liquidity grabs to happen and then trade in the next direction. For here, you come down, you grab the lows, cool. You break out, cool. You buy into where? The next level. The manipulation is great. That's what makes gold so nice, because it's so easy to read. Because it's so easy to spot the levels where most people are getting trapped and where most people are getting manipulated. That's what makes gold so nice. That manipulation is what is 90% of our trades. Whereas that manipulation is what stops out most people, and that's why they get frustrated with trading gold. But it's like, if you can understand and spot this manipulation, it's very, 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 very easy to read. And if you guys keep on the levels that we speak about every single day, you see how well they get hit. But the manipulation on gold is what makes gold so good. Let's have a look. Gold still in this tough little range here, guys. NQ in the range as well. Have a look at the 5 minute here, guys. You know, if you try and trade every single breakout here, you'll be not only taking loads of losses, but you will absolutely be burning your mental capacity out. No amount of books and masters like Arashin will teach you. You need the pain of being an idiot enough times to realize about how it follows some rules. Yeah, 100%, man, 100%, absolutely. But yeah, these are all the liquidity levels. The liquidity levels we look at, that's what I guess you could say is the manipulation. That's what gold loves to do. Gold loves to, you know, pull back off these double tops. You know, everyone tries to jump in the shorts where they sit their stops just above the highs. That's what gold loves to do. And what we've got good at is identifying these levels and buying up into them. So these liquidity levels are the levels that price loves to manipulate into. So I'm buying into that manipulation. I'm buying into the levels where most people are trying to short, because I would always be the one who would be shorting here on gold, getting stopped out before then watching gold come to hit my TP. Then I kind of got to a point, it's like, okay, cool, my direction isn't necessarily wrong, I just keep getting in too early. And then I'd wait for these levels to get grabbed, and then I'd try and take the shorts out. And then I kind of adapted a little bit more. It's like, okay, cool, if I can spot this is a high that needs to be grabbed, rather than waiting for price to get up into there, I'm making much better trades buying up into the liquidity levels. Same as here on gold today. If it wasn't pre-NFP day, you know, I'm shorting into these liquidity levels. I'm shorting into the manipulation. So if you can read very simple manipulation and price action, that's what makes gold so great. You look at liquidity grab on the 30-minute time frame mainly. Not necessarily. You know, this might be a 30-minute level. It's probably also an hourly level as well. The higher the time frame is key. You know, sometimes it can be off, you know, when gold has 2 daily equal lows here. Here, you got 2 daily equal lows. So I'll mark on these daily lows, and that'll be a short target. Same as the highs. Nice high target. It can be from the daily, it can be from the weekly, it can be from the 1 minute. The higher the time frame, the easier the direction is going to be. You know, my 30-minute levels here, these might also line up as like, you know, again, they got 4-hour double tops here. What did gold not do before this push down? Never re-grab the highs. So that's my liquidity level here and here. Why did I have these levels? And again, we had these levels all drawn up yesterday, and that's why we took the buys yesterday, guys. Why did I have this level here? Because, okay, cool. This rejection, without liquidating the previous high, is not how gold moves. If gold's going to have a true move down, it's going to come up and liquidate these highs before doing that. So, okay, cool. Here's liquidity 1, here's liquidity 2. At any opportunity intraday, I'm buying up in some levels. But yeah, I guess for intraday trading, you know, you could look at them on the 30. Doesn't really matter too much, to be honest. You kind of you want to do them on, you know, 4 hourly, 30, and then use the low time frame to buy or sell up into them. You know, and you can take the trades out of the liquidity grabs, or I prefer to trade into them. Can you make a quiz every day for us to find the liquidity area on all time frames? Yeah, we could do that. That'd be pretty fun. Yep, we could do that. Exactly the same as copper yesterday, guys. Where was our liquidity levels yesterday? These highs here. You guys go back and watch yesterday's stream. We spoke about $5. We spoke about this liquidity level, and you're buying up into this manipulation. It's not just gold. All markets love to do that manipulation. We get some final movement here. Let's see. Let's see, guys. Very slow start to the morning. Completely expected. NQ in a bit of a range. Goldie finally breaking to the downside. So again, you know, if it was normal markets, this is what we said earlier. This is where everyone's trying to jump in the longs, and this is where they're sitting their stops. I would have ideally been shorting from higher up though, not really from here, but that's gold having that manipulation. Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. Yeah, maybe we'll do that on Monday. I won't do any levels, and I'll say to you guys, where's the liquidity levels for the day, and you guys can put on the levels. And then, like I say, you guys keep these levels on your charts. Just very simple price action. You see how well they get hit. One thing you do best in your main course, the naked chart reading. Yeah, 100%. I do that on the retreats as well. On our trading retreats and on the conference days, I'll give the guys just a clean chart, and I'll go, okay, cool. Where's the liquidity levels and why? And then the guys are like, okay, cool. I think here because you've got some nice equal highs, and then I'll show the next slide of the presentation where it will have the levels and why. So yeah, absolutely, that's a good point. I'll remind myself. Nice patching. You guys also read the charts naked? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, that's a good idea. We'll do that on Monday. Before I come on Monday, guys, I won't do any analysis. I won't do any levels. Or if I do, I'll delete them. And then, yeah, I'll say to you guys, where's the liquidity levels for today and why? Why short gold if the 200 moving average daily is below? Doesn't that mean longer time frame is still bullish? Are you swing trading or day trading? Depends. Are you swing trading or day trading? If you're swing trading, that could be an overall swing trade for you to not take it. I don't use the 200 moving average. Let me have a quick look at it. Moving average. Is this it? 200? Is that right? Where is it? Wait, that? Oh, no, surely not. Is that what you mean? 200? Is that what you mean by 200 moving average? I don't think so. David. Is that what you mean by the pool 200 moving average? We also want homework. I can give you some homework. I can give you some homework. Daily starting to flip bearish now as well, guys. What we spoke about. If it wasn't NFP, I'd be shorting this right now. I'd be shorting the break of the daily low. I mean, if this is what you mean, which it may not be. No, gold 200A is below. I mean, we're intraday trading. If you wouldn't short because this is below, you're missing out on a lot of trades, a lot of trades. What you wouldn't take a 3,000 tick pullback because the daily moving average is below. That doesn't make any sense to me personally. I'm not swing trading. Even if I was swing trading, I would still short this regardless of where 200 moving average is. You wouldn't want to miss out on even here all-time high pullback. What, 3,000 ticks? Major pullback here, 3,000 ticks. What, you're going to talk yourself out of a couple of thousand tick trade because of moving average? Personally, not for me. No. I look at daily direction based on how the previous day closed. So you could say here, oh, this daily is trying to create some bullish structure, so shouldn't you just be going long? I'm not swing trading. So if this daily grabs the highs and closes bearish, I'm shorting today. I'm just looking for what is today. How's today candle going to look? For me personally, I'm not thinking that far ahead. Again, you don't want to miss out on a couple of 100+ tick pullback trades just because you think the daily is doing something else. We're not swing trading here. And like I say, even if I was swing trading, that's still, even when I used to swing trade, like I say, I swing traded for a long time before I came into day trading, and even swing trading, I would still take these massive pullbacks. I might swing trade this, for example, but I'll still take advantage of this. These are still huge opportunities. Like I say, you want to be exposing yourself to as much as you can. But for me, yeah, if the daily closes bearish like this, I'm short on this day. Absolutely. So yeah, gold's trying to flip bearish on the daily here, guys. It's unfortunate this range is so small, and it was already had such a big push down here pre-London, but that would have been a really nice sell. Really nice sell. Yeah, lovely short. But for me though, the shorts weren't here. The shorts were like back up here, so it's hard for me to want to short down here. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, easy trading. Yeah, I agree. More time to think about your decisions for sure. More time to manage risk. Lovely, lovely squeeze here on gold, guys. Finally starting to get some volume. Again, that's the manipulation. You're selling into where most people are trying to buy. The only reason I'm not short here on gold, guys, is because if I'm shorting gold, I'm shorting gold at resistance, not at the support. It's just not really worth it in terms of risk to reward. Because if I, you know, although it was a nice squeeze here, if I'm selling here, you know, like where's my stop? My target's this liquidity low, but I'm just about squeezing a 1-to-1. I can get a better trade than that. But this is, yeah, this is a nice squeeze into these lows. This is our liquidity low. It's a nice squeeze into it. If I could get a better risk to reward, you know, it's a short I would have taken. But, you know, pre-CPI, big move down here. Sorry, CPI. Pre-NFP, big move down pre-London. It's not a bad trade, but yeah. Monday is a holiday here in most countries in the EU. How about Australia? I don't think so. It is a holiday on Monday in some Australian places, but oh, is it all of Australia? Oh yeah, bank holiday in Australia, bank holiday in Switzerland, France, and Germany. London will still be open, so we'll still trade as normal. We'll still be on the streams, and we'll have some homework to do as well. For some reason, you guys asked for homework, so if you want some homework, yeah, remember guys when you're. You guys remember back in the, who said homework? Was that you, Sean? I think Sean said about homework. Remember back in the school days where like there'd be that one kid that would like remind the teacher about the homework. Yeah, Sean's that kid on Friday today. So if anyone's got peeve, take it out with Sean. Sean reminded the teacher about homework. So we're going to keep the class back today and do some homework. Massive throwback there. Shame on you, Sean. Not all Western Australia was the, Monday. Okay. Cool boy doesn't need homework. Yeah, I know. He's just trying to drop everyone in it. Is it India? Is it just in Victoria? Yeah, it's not in Queensland. That's what I thought. It says on Forex Factory just Australia, but I don't think it is in Queensland. I think it's just here. So little squeeze down here on Goldie for the day, guys. Nice little support play. Like I say, you know, ideally you'd be shorting at this fake out level here, back at like 615. Not really here personally. Hey Matt, you would confirm you wouldn't consider the top of this current 30, no top wick. Yeah, no, there's a tiny one, but it's not enough for me to want to sell it, man, because you could have tapped into this support and just pushed. So second you know, if you shorted this, the second you hit the support, you know, you'd have to be managing like really aggressively, and it's just too small of a scalp. You know, if I want that small of a scalp today, I'll be able to get a much easier trade than that. Yeah. Public holiday, New South Wales, Victorians, South Australia. Cool. Oh, look at that rejection after grabbing the lows there, guys. Wow, is this going to be what's going to be the pullback here? Lovely grab of the lows there. NQ still creating the range. Gold starting to get some volume. So could this be the liquidity grab? Now it's kind of start to have a pullback. You know, if I want to see a pullback on gold, it's back up into 33.91. What time is it? 6 o'clock. When you miss for example a short, what kind of pullback are you wanting to see for a new entry for a short? Right now, you know, ideally I should have been short from up here. I wasn't trading pre-London today, so it is what it is. So I kind of look at this and I go, cool, if you're all the way down here, I wouldn't have mind looking for a breakout buy to pull back into, you know, this very simple head and shoulders. And I'd be waiting for price to get back into here before then going short. But ideally, you know, would break above and I'd buy up into this level first. Yeah, I mean, again, you know, like, and that actually could happen now. You could, if you start breaking above, this could actually start, maybe not now, but maybe like, you know, 9 to 10 for the rest of the London session, pull back up into this level. Before then, you get that bigger short later on with NFP. So I'd say if you do want to go long on gold, again, for me personally, this is just me personally, guys, it's pre-NFP. If I do want to buy here on gold, this will be my no trade range. Why? Because the price action on the lower time frame here is very, very messy. So if I want to go long here on gold, I personally would be waiting for a 15 or 30 minute fake out buy above here. And then this would be a very nice range. You know, again, you might be like, oh, I don't want to wait that long. I want to take a trade now. Well, you know, patience pays. Do you want to trade a 30 tick range, or do you want to trade a 70 plus tick range? Well, I personally would rather trade a 70 tick range. So I personally would be much happier to wait for price to break this and trade this the range than try and trade this range. This range is what is going to be what sends me on tilt and what burns me out mentally. So this for me will be a no trade range. However, if you close above, this could be a great range to trade. And I'd much rather trade this range than this range, because that's all we're really looking for here today. You know, we're playing ranges before CPI. I don't know why I keep saying CPI, before NFP. So if I'm going to play a range, I want to play a better range, and that range is going to be from here to here. So yeah, it's not, you know, it's not a bad buy. You know, this is a very nice 5-minute morning star. But if you do take this, you know, the only thing to be aware of is the second you start hitting this resistance, you have to be open to managing. Because it's a very, very tough range. So you got a 0.62 restore. Is it worth it? I'm not too sure. 385 or 91 from here. Yeah, I think 91 looks pretty nice. Again, though, I wouldn't wait for it to get there and try and go short. If we break above here, I'd play that range. What do I mean by fake out buy? Good question, man. So this Owlie's going to close below. See here? Oh, maybe not. I might actually break back above. But what I mean by fake out buy is if the... wow, look at that for a wick rejection on gold, guys. Look at that. A fake out buy is kind of here. You know, you break below the level and then you break right back above. That confirms my fake out. So I take fake out trades at like big levels of, you know, support when I'm looking for longs. If I see, you know, if I'm looking to see a really big buy here on gold, kind of yesterday, you know, the trade we took yesterday. Let's say if I'm looking for longs up into here yesterday, well, when this candle closes below, I'm not shorting gold because I'm not looking for shorts. However, once this candle closes back above, to me that's the confirmation of a fake out, because this is faking, it's confirming the fake out of this move, and then I'll take my trade. So I'll take a fake out trade in confluence if I'm looking for longs, or for closing below, I want to see price break back above. So here, this is kind of a fake. You broke above, broke back below. That confirms your fake out. So when a candle breaks above, then instantly breaks back below. Exactly here today, I don't take this breakout buy. Why? Because we're looking for shorts today. So once this grabs the highs and breaks back below, cool. That's my fake out confirmation. There's my drive down. And that actually would have been a great short. In hindsight, because like I say, I wasn't on the charts. I don't know if I would have taken it. I like to think I would have. But that was a great fake out sell opportunity. You grab the highs, you grab the liquidity, massive resistance from yesterday, previous support, break back below. There's your really nice fake out sell. Zoom guys, give me 2 seconds. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me for the day, guys. Like I say, I'm here in Melbourne, so I'm probably not gonna trade today, guys. Like I say, it is NFP. I was thinking if we could maybe get some pre-London scalps today. But like I say, before NFP, guys, I'm not really trying to force this range. I do like gold to have a pullback today, but to be honest, overall, guys, I am looking for shorts down into these major liquidity levels. Like I say, it may take until NFP. So don't feel like you have to force it, guys. We've had a great week in the markets. Very, very profitable week again. We've had a lot of amazing calls. You could have even just played this whole entire range yesterday, and your week would have been absolutely done. So yeah, I'm going to go enjoy my evening, guys. It's coming up to 6 p.m. here in Melbourne. I'm going to go out, I'm going to grab some dinner, and then I will see you guys same time again next week, where we will do the lessons. We'll come on the charts on Monday, and I won't draw any levels. You guys can spot the one. I appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Remember, pre-NFP, don't feel like you have to trade. Don't force it, guys. We have all of next week to absolutely do it again. Trade safe. Have an amazing weekend, guys. And I'll see you all on Monday. Trade safe, guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.